Everyone. Hey, DFG here. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, we sure would appreciate it here at Gideon's Fight if you did. That being said, I just listened to a whole tirade of MSNBC talking about why the national network should not cover Donald Trump's speech tonight. His primetime address, and I think it's going to be a state of emergency on, the budget for building this wall. And as I listened to them, they went on and on about him being a liar and that he shouldn't be given television time, that he should be a despot. Why would anyone want to listen to the President of the United States talk about a border wall? And, it got me to thinking, first of all, since when are commentators, since when did they become the politicians of the governing body to dictate what the president should be allowed to say and not to say? I thought their jobs were to cover the news, not to create the news. Donald Trump has labeled them fake news. Now, this particular one was MSNBC. And if you really want to hear I hate Donald Trump news, just turn to CNN because they're obsessed with it. That's all they talk about. Now, if you know anything about me, I am not a Donald Trump fan guy, okay? As you've heard me say many times before, I didn't have a horse in that race. I decided to sit it out because I didn't agree with either of the two politics. Hillary Clinton's wretched politics, nor Donald Trump's uninformed politics at that particular time. But at the end of the day, as we've all been taught here, is that even if you don't honor the person, you honor the office. Okay? If you don't honor the man, at least you honor the office. Now, here's a bigger question I have for you. What is it that's got them so obsessed that they don't want to hear Donald Trump National State of the Union address tonight? Is it really the border wall? That's my question. Is it really the border wall? Is it all about they don't want to fund the wall? We give $1 billion to countries all over the world, certain countries all over the world, and I won't get into that, hint, Israel for one, but yet him asking for $2.5 to $5 billion to reinforce the borders is treason, according to them. Now, putting up a border has many benefits, and I think we all know that. When you start talking about drugs coming across the border, you start talking about human trafficking coming across this border. You talk about violent criminals coming across the border. And I'm not talking about necessarily gangbangers, which I'm sure they're coming through, but I'm talking about real drug cartels coming back and forth, with their drug mules going across the border. And in a country that has a serious opioid problem, you would think that in itself would be the motivation to say, hey, let's build this damn wall, at least do something. Maybe the wall wouldn't put a dent in it, but you have to at least try. We've all been told that. At least put an effort, put your best foot forward, do something. Don't sit on the sideline and do absolutely nothing. This leads me to the conclusion. And I'm sorry if I sound like I'm a little ratchet up here. I almost sound like I'm reading off a ticker tape or something. But this leads me to believe that they're hiding something beyond what we understand. Government has been shut down for almost 3 weeks. What is it that they're afraid that Donald Trump is going to say tonight? Now, I've been listening, to I'm going to call it my own dark web, okay, which I don't have a dark web, but just information that I've been able to glean over the last several days. And the one thing that I constantly hear coming up, that is indictments. Indictments about what? Sex, child trafficking. Let me say that again. Sex, child trafficking. by government officials or former government officials. Who are some of the names that are coming up? How about Barack Obama? How about Hillary Clinton? How about Bill Clinton? How about Joe Biden? George Bush, the father for sure. Others and others and others. So here's my question. Is it that they want to black him out tonight because they don't want us to know? Are they afraid that he might start talking about human trafficking, sex trafficking? That they're afraid that this will open up that Pandora's box that most of us already know about that's going on as it relates to child trafficking? Now, let me tell you something if you don't know about this. Barack Obama, when he was in office, there is documents that he had young boys, call boys, going to the White House at night. You know what a call boy is? That's male prostitutes. And I know some of you Obama fans not going to like this, but don't hate me because I told you the truth. If you don't believe me, go look it up. That's what I always say. Go get your own facts, validate it, verify it for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. But child sex trafficking, human trafficking. As you guys remember, I did a video a while back. I think it was 30 plus men were caught in Michigan. Human trafficking women about a little bit less than a year ago. And there are stories all over the place about political government or high political government officials having sex with children. We talked about Jeffrey Epstein. I hope I'm pronouncing these names right. Epstein. Yesterday, I think I called a woman April Simpson when I named Amber Simpson when it was Amber Guyver. Talking about the police officer who shot the black guy. So sorry for that misstating of the name. But Jeffrey Epstein. Remember him, the Lolita Express, his plane, St. James Island, where you have ledgers. I've seen it with my own eyes, with Bill Clinton's name on that flights and other prominent officials on those flights. So maybe this whole thing tonight is not about what you think it's about in terms of why they do not want this live broadcast tonight on national network television. I think it's still going to happen. I pray it does. But more importantly than that, and I heard Trump say this on yesterday, he started talking about the human traffic aspects of it. And this is what Trump said, based off the information that he has, that some of this stuff, if it got out to the public, would be so devastating and so shocking that it could cause a major crisis, government crisis. So maybe, I'm not saying, I don't know, just like, most of you guys hearing me don't know, but I do have an opinion. Maybe this whole shutdown is because something else that's about to go down. But I hope and pray that if these wretched, wicked, low-down, dirty demons, devils, filthy men and women who have the audacity to rape and abuse and take advantage of innocent children, I hope they get them all in one big barn and make the biggest bonfire known to mankind and set it ablaze. The truth will come out. As they always say, give it time, the truth will always come out. And I suspect that what's going on right now might be just the tip of a greater truth. So some of you guys who are caught up in this whole political, I hate Donald Trump because they told me to hate Donald Trump, or I hate Donald Trump because he's a racist, which there's no actual proof that he's a racist. Okay, all right. Yeah, he, didn't handle a couple of statements correctly. But I've also seen him in many, many places with a lot of so-called black prominent leaders, including Jesse Jackson, and them giving this guy high praise for all of the things that he has done or was doing at different, stages of his adult professional life as it relates to the urban community, including some legislation that he just passed. So you can't have it both ways. He can't be a public servant to you and then a bigot to you at the same time. I'm going to tell you something about bigots. They're bigots for a reason. Okay? They don't go against the grain. And so, for whatever your reasons may be, your political reasons, for once, I'm going to ask you to take the high road. Hear the guy out. Let's see what he has to say. Don't get caught up in what is this? The partial politics, I think is what they call it, bipartisan politics. Don't get caught up in that foolishness. Let the small-minded people deal with that. We who are critical thinkers, those of us who truly give a damn about the well-being of children and women who are being sold as objects, who know some of the things that are being done to these people. Going both sides of the boat, I might add. For once, as I've said to you many, many times, let's take a stand for the children. Let's take a stand for those who can't take a stand for themselves, the victims. In essence, let's see what Donald Trump has to say tonight. Maybe he's going to pull the cover back and we all going to find out some things that maybe we don't want to know about, but that we need to know about. We'll see. Catch it tonight. All right? MSNBC, CNN, fake news, most of it. Thank goodness for us that social media is here. Unbiased. Maybe a little biased. But unpoliticized. That may be a better word for us. All right? That at least you get a different perspective. Thanks for listening. DFG. Talk to you guys soon. Bye now.